college basketball with our good friend Roger Wallace. And for lots of good reasons, Roger, about a month ago, I feel like we've been a bit of a roller coaster with this Texas basketball team. They looked like a surefire, they looked like they were going to be done. Then they looked in, and then now it's kind of on shaky ground after a loss in round one of the SEC basketball tournament. That performance overall against Ole Miss, that left what in your mind about what this team is and where they stand in the big picture?
They'll get what they deserve. And I kind of feel like Sean Miller expressed that after the game. He wasn't politicking. He wasn't lobbying for his team. He was kind of saying, I'm at peace, and we gave it the good fight, and we'll see what happens. And I've got to build a program. And I think he's kind of said that sometimes between the lines all season long, as he had to get this together as fast as he could with a roster. Now he's got a recruiting class. Now he'll go full in the portal and see what happens. But yeah, it was not a good performance. And this is a team that started 0-2 in the SEC, and we figured where would 7 or 8 wins come in conference play? Then they rattle off 5, and all of a sudden we're talking about a team that might get into that top 4 and get a double bye, and then they lose 3 out of 4. And all of a sudden you're back on the bubble, and then last night was just not good from jump, and it never really got good. They got it to 3, at 2 possessions down by 3. They miss a layup, they get the ball stripped, and that was pretty much that.
And I believe as of now for the bracketology, it looks like they're going to be the last 4 in. From your perspective, what needs to happen in order for it to stay that way?
Well, yeah, I don't know if they can improve that too much because they can't do anything about it. But as we speak, Auburn is playing Tennessee, and if Auburn wins that one, then that could really hurt their cause. Miami out of the Mid-American Conference certainly hurt a lot of people's cause because that becomes a 2-bid league. It's never a 2-bid league because they went undefeated. You can't keep them out of the tournament when you go 31-0. So I just think, when you can't play, when you can't do anything about it, you're just hanging on for dear life. And Auburn was a big one. UCF is playing right now, and they're getting beat pretty handily by Arizona. But I don't know if they come into Texas's conversation as far as getting in. I think it's going to be maybe back to Dayton where they lost to Sean Miller and Xavier last year. Although I have seen projections where they're still. You have to look at that 9-9 record in the conference. It has to mean something. Yeah. And you have to look at a win in Alabama, and that has to mean something as well. So you can craft this any way you want to kind of meet your argument.
I just want to know what the temperature just feels like in Austin, seeing obviously what happened last night with the loss to Ole Miss. But the fact that Oklahoma has gone on this run where it seemed like they were just dead in the water now has kind of a decent opportunity with a win tonight to throw a wrench into the Texas plans there. If they were stacked side by side, how do you think the committee is going to favor?
Well, Texas, they had a better conference record, and they won in Norman, and Norman won and OU won in Austin, so that's kind of a push. So then do you look at the best wins? Now, Texas doesn't have a good non-conference resume. So that was one of the problems. And the way they lost to Oklahoma is way fresher in everyone's minds than the fact that they won in Norman. And that's, that I don't want to say recency bias, but it's just natural, right? People would have to go get on the internet to remind themselves of what happened in Norman. They don't have to with what happened in Austin on Saturday night. Texas somehow got it to overtime and still, with a 1-point lead in overtime, couldn't get a defensive rebound, and OU took the lead right back. So, I don't know if that 4 out of 5 losses, including a home loss to Oklahoma, where that plays in the committee's mind or not. But it's a Texas team that's kind of limped to the finish after that great stretch. And how about this number? Last night to Ole Miss. How do you win games in basketball nowadays? You win it with the 3, and a lot of times you win at the free throw line. They outscore Ole Miss by 18 from 3 and by 6 from the free throw line, and lose by 10. They were outscored by 34 points from 2.
They made one three-pointer, right? Ole Miss?
Ole Miss hit 1 3-pointer. Texas hit 7.
Wow.
And Texas hit 21 free throws. Ole Miss hit 15. But Ole Miss from 2, which is, old school.
Yeah.
That's where they beat Texas.
Going back to the old school there, and it is interesting because, like you said, this team they, at their best, they can beat just about anybody, and I think that they do have a shot. There is a Sean Miller, in my mind, that kind of knows what this team is and knows what this team can be, but at the exact same time, as you said, the Sean Miller that speaks the absolute truth, whether it's in a microphone or a locker room. This is what he said after the loss.
I have no anxiety, zero, simply because of this. I came to Texas to build into a championship program. There's steps and foundations that have to be laid, processes, failure, really learning what the SEC and the University of Texas is about. This has been a very rewarding, enlightening. When you get to the finality of it, whatever happens, happens, and I'm at peace. However, I think this is a huge moment for us as a program today to be different a year from today.
I think it's a perfect bow to put on top of it. Like you said, Roger, he's like, hey, it kind of is what it is. We'll see what the selection committee says on Sunday. With that said, let's just leave basketball. We'll find out on Sunday altogether